Right, welcome to the channel. We've got some rumours. The rumour mill is milling. Is that right? Maybe, maybe not. How are you all doing? Welcome. Welcome. We've got a rumour here, guys. Jeffrey Dean Morgan will once again return, because obviously we've seen him, as, well, basically as Flashpoint Batman in the Flash. Now, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is kind of like, people want him to be this, and I think it'd be epic. Like, how cool would that be? Him, the sort of Flashpoint Batman. Perfect. Absolutely perfect casting. Jeffrey Dean Morgan needs to be in more things. He's a very, very good actor. So we've now got a rumour, so I thought we would discuss it. We're going to be getting an update on this movie soon at the DC Fandom event, which is like some online DC... It's like an SDCC, but for DC. There's a whole lot of acronyms and abbreviations and crap, isn't it? But that's what we're going to be diving into today. The article that is I'm reading out is actually linked down below in the description box. And another thing that's linked down below in the description box is the GoFundMe for my film, because I am making a high-concept horror fantasy film titled Black Fields. I'm crowdfunding for it. And if you donate $5 or more, you are in for a chance of winning an ornamental signed weapon prop. So check all of that out down below in the description box. Now let's dive into this, shall we? So, The Flash is reportedly back on track, apparently. Enough to re-enter production. Now that's interesting for a few reasons, because Ezra Miller's a bit of a dog, isn't he? A bit of a scumbag. No, I don't. A lot of people don't really like Ezra Miller, either as the Flash or as a human being. So, it's surprising that they're still just full steaming ahead. But I think it's interesting because obviously it goes and says, you know, knowing the film is adapting Flashpoint, the 2011 story arc by Jeff Johns may also be back on track to include a wider array of DC characters like the Batman, who was Thomas Wayne, under the hood. Now, could they do that to take away some of the focus from Ezra Miller? Maybe. That would be good, wouldn't it? That would be epic. Like, just sideline the main character in his own film. I would watch that. I would watch that more. Let's put it this way, guys. Would you be happy to watch Flashpoint, The Flash, with Ezra Miller, with no Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and just, you know, a Flashpoint with some like random actors that, you know, weren't particularly fit for the role and things like that? Would you be happy because it's Ezra Miller, or would you want to watch Flashpoint for Flashpoint Batman, regardless of Ezra Miller? Personally, I could take or leave a Flashpoint movie. But if we got Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Flashpoint Batman, I would watch it. Like, I would genuinely go and watch it. I'd have to watch it, obviously, for the channel. But you get my drift, right? I think people would be swayed into watching it more. Now, this could also mean someone familiar with that role returning to the fold. Thomas Polito of the Cinema Spot writes, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is circling the role, but last we heard, formal talks have not yet begun. And he adds that it obviously could change, which makes sense. He would be epic. He'd be awesome. Like, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's great. Like, if you need an introduction to him as potentially the Flashpoint Batman, like, I mean, The Watchmen's obviously an easy one to go to, but Watchmen's a very good portrayal of a, you know, very cynical sort of superhero thing that's brutal and violent. I mean, I think that would work. I think that's a good comparison anyway. I think it's a good way to say, you know, can you picture him now because you've seen that? So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, obviously, it goes further and says, Polito tweeted later that he has been working on his story since last month and changed the focus before publishing. Morgan, who was the gunned-down Thomas Wayne in Batman vs. Superman, isn't guaranteed, and his talks, if they start, could fall through. Well, that's any talks. That's literally any talks at all. But I like that. Like, I really think that's good. I really, really, really think that's good. Now, his tweets are very specific. So he's been working on this since May, but kept having to hold off on posting. I know these say June, but that's because I changed the focus of the article to be more on Batman and less on JDM, because there's no guarantee he signs on. But that's interesting, isn't it? Because I'll hand it on over to you. Like, if we don't have Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the Flashpoint Batman, who would you want as the Flashpoint Batman? Like, who would you want to portray Thomas Wayne as Batman in this brutalized universe, you know, where it all went astray, and his wife is the Joker. Like, who would you want to play that? Who's your fan casting? Because that's the thing. Like, if they're definitely going to be doing this as a movie, right, and they're definitely going to include this, then who would you have? I mean, I don't have one personally. I literally don't have a fan casting for that. I don't think anyone, now that, you know, people have said Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I don't think there's someone better for the role. I mean, there inevitably will be, but I can't picture it. And obviously, you know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan has posted this stuff over to his Instagram, which definitely does not help with the speculation. But great, like really, really cool. You know, JDM stirred the fandom on this very issue as 2019 faded into 2020. He put on his comedian mask from Watchmen for a selfie, teasing a masked comeback, though that could apply to anything. God fans talking again about the Walking Dead star donning the cape and cowl, and this is obviously what we posted over on Twitter. Gus found the comedian mask still fits like a glove and looks extra extra with my badass bifocals. Here's to a mask comeback in 2020. So I would, I mean, it's too perfect not to be true, surely. I mean, that's a super dumb way of looking at it, but you get my point. Like, there's a lot of focus here, and it just seems too right for the role. Why wouldn't they do this? You know, if he's the if he is Thomas Wayne in the normal timeline, then why wouldn't they include him in the Flashpoint timeline? It just makes sense to. And he's perfect. He's perfect for the role. Absolutely great. Now, Morgan has shown interest in the last few years in playing the Flashpoint Dark Knight. He alluded to DC's Paradox Universe on Jimmy Kimmel in 2017. He had the unfortunate duty of reporting at San Diego Comic-Con in 2018. Any hope of a Flashpoint adaptation was dashed as long as Zack Snyder wasn't in the picture. Morgan said at the time, when Zack Snyder was involved with the DC Universe more, I think there was a real possibility, but now that he's kind of steeped away a little bit, I've heard different things that Flashpoint might not be going in that direction. It will be more of an origin story for Flash, which does actually make sense because we've not had that yet. So yeah, that would actually make sense, which is a shame. Like, that sucks because I don't think anyone wants to see an origin story to this babyface prick. Like, who wants to see an origin story for Ezra Miller's Flash? No one. He's crap. That'd be super boring, super lame. I don't think anyone wants that. And then obviously continues further and says that was the last we heard about the Flash adapting Flashpoint and Batman being part of it for quite a while. Warner Brothers seemed to be going in a different direction until Helmer Andy Muschietti came aboard and he announced that they were doing the story just in a different way. And this is what's interesting, because there's some rumors that Wonder Woman 1984 would be like a form of a Flashpoint. So they would ruin the universe, kind of, but then correct it all. Now, we don't know whether they're going to include the Flash and have that elements in there. Unlikely now, due to all the trailers and the leaks, which have all been confirmed by the trailers. But it's interesting, isn't it? If they're having like universe breaking and altering events in the DC universe now, I guess do we still call it that? Are they then going to do this as well? It seems like there's too much of that going on, and it'll be a bit repetitive. A bit of the status quo just being that for some weird reason. Now, when rumors swirl, JDM will be Batman in your movie, as many speculated years ago, and Ray Fisher is returning as Cyborg. We're left wondering how different Machete and Birds of Prey scribe Christina Hodson's take is going to be. That's the thing. Like, Birds of Prey was crap. That's not going to be that's not a good writer to have on board. But, you know, Machete's good. You know, he is a good director. I don't know how much sway he's going to have over the writing, though, and that's part of it, right? Now, star Ezra Miller, recent brush with scandal complicated things for a bit too. And that's the other thing, yeah, I mean, he literally assaulted one of his fans on video. Whether it was provoked or not, it's still an assault on video, regardless of you think. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, that seems to have just died down and people are like, yep, fine, who cares, let's just crack on now. Weird, isn't it, how cancel culture works for some people, not for others? Never works for the people you want it to work for, eh? I'd love him, you know. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. I don't want him as the Flash, but I don't care. I'll watch it anyway if this guy is in it. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Stay up to date on the world of pop culture movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. And also just turn the notifications on to all. If you're not getting notified of the videos, guys, or I'm not like turning up in your sub feed, head on over to Twitter. Follow me at Mr. H Reviews and turn the bell notifications on there, because I do share my videos on Twitter and I really don't tweet that much. So you're not going to be inundated by notifications. But anyway, thanks so much. Take care.